fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What we gonna eat no money, what we at you, eat no at you. Covid money, miss away in the your little rat you. Use the youth, the money, waste for must a man to statue. Say me like a cash, but they got in a figure you. Take the skin from money, gal and say that it's not you. One day the man above end up, him a got a bet. Too much it in the kitchen, some a fly well like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me
300% raise.
It burn me
Garbage pile of the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption please.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out with each.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
Come me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The already promises none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in our fever. Member bowl money and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me.
On them treat the market man.
It burn me.
On them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
On them treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
On them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
On them a treat the son man.
It burn me.
On them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
How them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
How them a treat everyone.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy scallion, we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't.
Stibby dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no keep. And
good evening and I hope you can hear me for John Global TV. Just a check out now. Document not one. That should be the one. Can you hear me better now? Can you hear me any better? Please let me know in the comment if you can hear me any better. I have changed the mic system. My system is playing up badly here on my end. Getting better, yes, good now. My system is really playing up here on my end. Bear with while I try to get this sorted. Oh, my oopsie daisy. Everything is playing up on me. StreamYard has been crashing. That is what StreamYard has been doing, and it is irritating to me. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good evening and welcome. Thank you for joining us, Debbie Jervis TV. Good evening. Brenda Elson, Brenda, Y3 TV, God is Real, Gloria Morris, Natalia Freeman, Pauline Dixon, Yvonne Riley, Sharon Bernard, Millicent Jones, Michelle Lewis Wilson, Good Gift, Marcia Thomas. Oh, God. It is happening again. It cut the camera out. Let me continue. Monica Wills, Elaine Turner, Trevor Peter King, Althea, Ralston Henry. This thing is irritating me. Angela 48349. Give me 1 second. Let me plug this camera out and plug it back in and see if them stop irritating me. Hold on, my peeps. Hold on. Let me see if this thing is going to come back on with my background. Hold on. Bear with me.
Steve Smith's mother recounting the ordeal of spending the past 5 days without her son.
I never know if I explain it to you. I tell you, from Wednesday when it happened, I don't eat. I drink water and I drink Cersei. And I said, a cruel act, man, a cruel act, me I tell you. And I stand out, God know everything best. You understand me? I say, I tell you the truth, I never know if I explain this to you. I never know explain to you. I know if I murder me picnic.
Murder, because Smith's family members say unless he could be in two places at once, there is no way their relative could be connected to the Cherry Tree Lane shooting. In fact, they say he had one of the strongest alibis.
We know that Sunday.
Sorry about that. Welcome back. You know, these problems happen. I'm really having a jittery crock up tonight with my systems in the background here. Everything is kicking off and kicking out. Shauna Smith, Janet Riley, Winners Parade, Charmin Livermore, BTH Bad Times Ahead. But we will get on with it. No matter the hickle to pickle tonight, we will get on with it. But, hold on. Miss Hannah video not coming yet? What is wrong with my entire system tonight? It is playing me about the mill, and I'm really not into the mood for the play me about. Let me continue to play along this while I sort out in the background.
Bye. So my question would be to the justice system. How is he connected to a murder in Cherry Tree when he was at Asban store in a football match? Playing the music. Playing the music.
I get a call and said shoot out that churchy. And I said, but then turn up a churchy, we then shoot out with the Yasua maturity. And then while somebody got to him and said, come, we'll come off Fire Road. And he said, all right. And he plug off his tablet off Fire Road, off his son, and head to his yard.
Reports had indicated that Smith was on the police's radar for several murders and other illicit activities, was killed during military operation in Osborne Store after he challenged the security forces in a shootout. They also said a firearm was recovered from him. However, the victim's family refuted those reports.
They come in a 2 private car. When they come in a car, they run. Me think a man when they run out of the car, ground there. So say, where one day in a blue, where one day in a blue. All right, then search the young lady house. They don't find them. Go in a cousin house in a wheelchair there and find man say, are you come from? And drive come right at gate and turn back with him. Go back round her back. And then beat him first and then me a shot. No, not no shootout. Then bust one first out of an illegal gun. And then they use their lights to firearm and kill him and then they say a shootout.
Now, as they look to bury their relative, the family members say they're hoping justice will be served. Kalisha Williams, TVJ News.
Right, let's try and start again. Now, Miss Hannah, for the swirling and twirling of her hair, said something which I think is rather important and interested. And before we get into Havendale and JLP and Dean Shaw to ask questions of them all, let's listen to Miss Hannah, which I think it's quite make much sense for me. It might not for some people, but I really do think it makes sense. But oh, for the swirling and twirling of Lisa Hannah's hair. A touch of class with head teacher K. Good evening and welcome to Easy Jerk World. Joan Dawkins, Shauna Smith, good evening all. Ladybug, Don Fox, good evening and welcome. Let's have a listen to Miss Hannah.
US dollars in chicken neck and back is what we import to Jamaica annually. 13 million US dollars in beef offals. That's like the liver and the kidney. Beef trimmings is 16 million US. And then rice is 84 million US dollars. And so you might be asking, Lisa, why do you import so much US dollars worth of animal and rice? Well, it's simply because Jamaicans cannot afford to buy chicken, beef, or fish to feed their families. So they must resort to the parts of the animals, the cuts and the trimmings. Now, here's a disclaimer. I'm not in the PMP shadow cabinet, so what I'm about to say may not contend with their views. But this is something I've been speaking and writing about for years. In other words, the pot a boil, but the food not enough of the family them were out there. And I would like you to think for yourself and re-examine the data of some long-held beliefs of what others have tried to impose on you, saying that it is supposed to be in your best interest. Today, I want to highlight one of those beliefs and say why our people, as a result, remain unhealthy with obesity, high blood pressure, and other primary health ailments. It's because they can't afford to buy a balanced food basket. And for the non-vegetarians, this is because the price of chicken meat is out of their reach. I'm not going to any other meats today. You see, for decades, Jamaica has had a 250% duty protection on chicken meat. Globally, in other countries, the average import duty rate on chicken is 24%. So why are we paying 250%? Or why is the duty rate 250% in Jamaica? Is this really in our people's national interest? Or are we serving the interest of very few individuals, in particular 2 companies? Now, before you all have a knee-jerk reaction and say, but Lisa, it helps protect it because it helps with local production. Let us look at the data rather than emotion. You see, the international cost breakdown to produce a chicken is feed, largely corn. That makes up 61% of a chicken. Baby chicks is 18%. You have to house them, that's 7%. Other inputs are about 10%, and labor is only 4%. We don't make feed in Jamaica. We don't produce corn. We don't produce wheat. We don't produce soybean. Those are the inputs that go into the feed for a chicken. So what we refer to as feed mills in Jamaica are largely big silos and a mixer that blend up everything together, these imported inputs, and that goes into the final product, much in the same way that a mason, you see, mix up concrete, which are sandstone, cement, and water. But at least in concrete, all of those inputs are produced in Jamaica. So the local feed is totally, for chicken, is actually totally imported. So in effect, the local Jamaican direct cost input of chicken is less than 10%. Therefore, I really challenge the logic of providing excessive duty protections to any product with a local input that is less than 10%. I've been saying it for years. All of the inputs in animal feed are traded as commodities in the marketplace globally. And like oil, that price fluctuates in keeping with the laws of supply and demand. I bet you can't tell me how much corn has come down over the last 2 years. The price of corn has fallen from 801 US dollars in April 2022 to less than $392.50 today. Check it for yourself on tradingeconomics.com. You see, on straight mathematical terms, with that kind of 50% reduction in the cost of feed, which represents 61% of the cost input of a chicken, our chicken prices should have gone down by at least 30%. But guess what? They went up. So who's really benefiting? Certainly not the Jamaican people whose citizens find it hard to afford a whole chicken for dinner on a daily basis. Certainly not the workers at the factory whose pay remains much the same, and certainly not the Jamaican economy, as there's been very little growth in the agricultural sector generally for years. Did you know that if you apply for a permit to import a container load of chicken in any form, back parts, breast, wing, thigh, whatever, the Ministry of Agriculture first refers the matter to the 2 chicken monopoly producers to find out if they have any objections? Tell them to challenge me on this. What do you think will be their response? With that kind of system in place, there's effectively no real competition in the marketplace. As a matter of fact, there's no marketplace. You pay what the 2 local monopolies decide you should pay. And since it is so obvious, you will wonder, well, why is this backward policy been allowed to continue for decades? Well, the false fallacy is that we're saving the livelihood of 30,000 small farmers. But is this really true? And maybe after this video, you'll find them finding farmers who said, no, we've benefited, etc. But ask yourself if it is really true. Is it really true? It is the same 2 producers who sell the baby chicks to small farmers, the same 2 producers who sell the feed to small farmers. So it is in their interest to put the price of chicken as high as it can be so that they can convince us that they're actually acting in our best interest. So you see, when a mother comes into my constituency office and says, like they do all the time, and especially now with back to school, why MP, I need help with 50 chicken and some feed to send them go back to school. Either the state or me will actually purchase the chickens or the feed. But guess where I'm purchasing it from? The same people. So it's a vicious cycle that's not benefiting our people. And I feel so strongly about it because I'm tired of it. So here's a suggestion that might actually be in the best interest of Jamaican small farmers. And it's a suggestion. Reduce the duty on chicken to 50%, which would still be twice the international norm, and use the duty collected, because we actually don't collect any duty now. And use that duty to purchase baby chicks and distribute them free to small farmers. Them not to buy it. Therefore, and you could also eliminate the duty on feed and allow anyone, any little jack mandora, if they need a permit to bring in container loads to bring in chicken. It should not be only the big people who get permits. The result of such a policy or suggestion would not only lower the prices for chicken, but more people would be engaged in raising chickens.
Wow, sorry about that. Yes, the sound is back now. Yes, I'm not one who understands the economic front greatly, but I do believe what Lisa Hanna says in this piece makes sense. Um, some people may be of a different opinion, but I really do think it makes sense. I really do. The video is a bit longer than that. It's on her Instagram page if you want to listen to it, but it goes to the heart of the monopoly of those big private sector companies that they alone control a sector of the market, whether you want to look at it, whether it be chicken feed, young chicken, or indeed the finished end chicken in the supermarket. So it does go to show how practice like these keeps the small man out of that business and prevent the small man from really thrive in that business. Or as she alluded to in one point, if you have to um I think do importing into that thing, the Ministry of Agriculture have to run it by those two big people, those two big firms, if you want to import chicken or chicken parts into the country. So it speaks to that whole monopoly of one set of people controlling the Jamaican economy. But we hear Fitzbailey name the Havendale, they make we run the video till it get to fix. When it get to fix, we bring back the sound in, because we're tired of the superstar, the in front of camera prime minister. We're tired of you. We're not short of you on camera. You're always the on camera. Attack something trickery or something unnecessary. And we want you to talk about Dean Shaw rather. And you don't want to talk about Dean Shaw. Dean Shaw concerned with the Prime Minister. Because when the JLP aligned jug kingpin or whatever the word is, the name them come out, but we don't put out the picture of them, but we walk and search, we dig through heap like Sensor Fowl, Prime Minister, to find the picture of them. Because we say we hear say them aligned to Uno. Pocket a rub against hand, Prime Minister, and hand a rub against pocket. So we hear. So we are asking Uno to see if Uno would want to confirm. Say hand a rub against pocket and pocket a rub against hand. But Prime Minister, it is rather surprising that Dean Shaw, with emphasis, a white man in the upper echelons of St. Andrew, was gunned down brutally, Prime Minister, and the whole of Uno just shut them out. Dean Shaw, never heard of him before. Is he from round here? Is he really one of us? You're all behaving like you don't know who Dean Shaw is. You're all behaving like you don't know who Dean Shaw is. How come Dean Shaw ain't a prevalent businessman in his death. What? Was he only a prevalent and well-known businessman alive? So the whole on uptown can stay in utter silence. How me get Matthew Smooth up on screen? This is not the bangarang I meant to choose. When the thing is shut down, it jump over to the full. This is the one that meant to be there. Why is it not collecting? Mr. If it's a two rock stone after that something at tonight, rock stone not there. All right, the problem must solve now. Prominent businessman, well hinged, well known, racing car Dean Shaw. And Dean Shaw just cut down so. And nobody go on there. Angela 4349, I decided without the policeman, I beat the woman. Hold on there. Jamaica man, them mad anyway. Well, all the criminal story had it that the house on Havendale where the drugs boss belongs to Dean Shaw. That's what story had it. Belong to Dean Shaw. Dean Shaw, it is said, has new tenant for the property. It is said Mr. Shaw has new tenant for the property. The property is operated as a bed and breakfast, but Mr. Shaw went there to inform them of new tenants, renters for the property, and announce to them that they will have to evacuate. It is said, though, Mr. Shaw, Dean Shaw, did not enter the house. The story has it that neighbors within that Havendale patch have reported the movement of the property to the police. Because of the movement going in and out of the house, it is said, the neighbors report such to the police, which the police started a surveillance, which led to them obtaining a search warrant, which led to the drugs bust. Because of Mr. Shaw visit to the property, it is said that the kingpin and their alignment are of the belief that Dean Shaw tipped off the police. hence was the brutal slaying of Dean Shaw. The question, though, to Andrew Holness, Fix Bailey, and Doctor of Crime, is there any connection between the drugs boss, the arrest, and the cold-blooded murder of Dean Shaw? Could Fitzbailey confirm to us if there is a lead in the murder of Dean Shaw which connects to Havendale? Is there any investigation that centers around the arrest of the 5 men, Mr. Bailey, to do with the death of Dean Shaw? We managed to obtain a picture of about 2 of them. Can Fitzbailey confirm if the 2 gentlemen on the right is Roy Davis and George Sterling? Is this Roy Davis? Is this Mr. George Sterling? It is said, though, Prime Minister, members of the Jamaica Labour Party, the treasurer of the national executive or central executive of the Jamaica Labour Party, it is said that some or all of these 5 men involved in the drug bust or longtime JLP supporter and donor. Could the JLP Central Executive confirm if any of these gentlemen arrested have ever been donor to the Jamaica Labour Party? Can Fitzbailey confirm or deny if there's any connection to the men arrested and the Jamaica Labour Party? And if there is, whether there is any favor granted or any leniency in the investigation, given their labor affiliation, donor, supporter, or otherwise. Is there any correlation to the $12 billion drugs bust and the upcoming general election for next year? Is Dean Shaw death being investigated? Or will we hear that there is no viable lead in the murder of Dean Shaw, Mr. Bailey? How we know you, know? We know how you love make it up, fix it up, and stitch it up. We tired of your lie them fix Bailey. Stephanie, she turned fool. When Stephanie Lindsay tell the lie, then you can't see the fool written right across her forehead. Big old foo-foo-o-l-e fool written right across Stephanie's forehead when she tell it. We tired of Fitzbailey. We know Harris strong, deaf, dumb, and blind. The town crier, though, the popcorn mouth prime minister, the town crier, the one-man government who took over the country and run it for himself. You, prime minister, you have hope a connection with bad man like Robert White and Pilly Blacks and all of those other, the Brogadism, prime minister. Do you have any close connection or relationship with these elderly gangsters of your age group, prime minister? Some of them are Woolmerian prime minister. The Woolmer boys. I wonder if them and Warrell Reed or any one of one of echelons ish know one another. I wonder which seaport on a dock with it, prime minister. Coming out think it come to China wharf. You think you come to China wharf, prime minister? Or you think to say it just dock up at any beach and any unmanned beach on our coastline? How you think it go, prime minister? Because you know enough things, you know. You know what foreign man I do. You know what man in a prison I do, but you don't know what St. Andrew man I do, prime minister. How strange. How strange, prime minister, that you can't turn this off. You know what man at the foreign I do. You know what man in a prison I do. And them side of you in a parliament, them in a upper St. Andrew prime minister. Prime minister, upper Beverly Hills. Beverly Hills criminal. Beverly Hills criminals. Go sit down here, so. Down here, come in like a hog. Can't look up. Can't go look down. Come in like a hog. Can't only look down. Can't look up. Can't down that bless. Demons. JLP people. Crime. Criminality. Just hug it up and love it up. When in a power, the country is like it's on the edge of civil war. Remember Siaga's reign? Hey, Andrew, come turn it up. Andrew Wholeness, turn up. Christoph Tan, you love walk and arrest drugs dealer. You love ship drugs, Christoph Tan, so you must know how the drugs war you go. Such a big old drugs shipment, Christoph Tan. Given say you walk up and down, and we beach them at night time and arrest drug dealer upon beach. The whole heap of, if it not come to Ian Fleming, Chris, it will compound one with Anman Seaport, like the Westmoreland Beach where you did dip on the night there. Yes. You can compound Philly Beach to any one of the Anman Beach there. Prime Minister. And Christoph Tan. Or I wonder if one of the Chinese them turn a blind eye and carry through with war. Or we don't have one of them landing strip. We on a private jet, remember? So on a private jet I land pan sea in a Clarendon and we don't know where land in a hit, we drop out a hit, who landed with it. We just find hit one in the sea missing one door. Whole heap of monkey story in our country. Jamaica is not short of a nasty story. It's really not. You just got to look at Jamaica Labour Party politics. We're really not short of an answer story. We get them coming one after the other. We're not short an answer story. We're not short of them something there. But we want to know who is responsible for Dean Shaw's death. And if Dean Shaw's murder is connected to the Havendale drug bus, is the Havendale property Dean Shaw's property? And are the 5 arrested? Is there any investigation to link the 5 people arrested for the $12 billion drugs bust to the murder of Dean Shaw? Is a question, Prime Minister, we're going to continue to ask until your Starlink get over the side of Jamaica there. Until your Starlink, Prime Minister, move over to the side of Jamaica and top my civil business. Then we will talk. JPS and the government is, let me go slide by slide, the thief them. The thief them. But Jamaica teachers, at this moment, we're on a conference are going with this dumb, wayward policy of Favour and Andrew to, at the snap of a finger, bring in Ghanaian and teacher from Ghana and India. And on a concert, on a conference, I go on here now. And I don't see nobody like I said, this is a burning issue that ought to be tackled. But then again, look how shameful it is. All Worrell Reed a turn up. Why, it's embarrassing. But the pay of teachers, it's the greater part of the concern if one wants to fix the education system. Andrew Holness, because you want to run a country, you know, so you want to have to ask everything. The earthquake them, Andrew. A drill or not drill, or not the fracking, are you doing, is there offshore fracking going on in the Calibre zone or along the southern coastline of Jamaica for an oil drilling and an oil exploration? Are we having earthquake or are we having tremors from the earth core being blast? Kind of frequent, is it not? But then they say global warming is going to warmer. But then again, you don't know what these people up to. But let's watch and see how it develops. But what we have, two earthquake in a 1 week. I saw it go. Ain't it, my people? 72-year-old. The 72-year-old is the one called Junior Hardley. Or Hardley or whatever his name. 72-year-old Harris Chang. Yeah, but then again, if Harris Chang cannot carry 200 AK-47, a container full of it, why you think a 72-year-old won't carry $12 billion worth of drugs as well? But then again, When them see we look up, boy, them pan road with them pants drop down a wall yonder, bleach out and right up. And a tagger all side of the road, see I walk, them a walk like them junk, or see I walk, them a walk in a style and fashion. And those picnic them label as criminal. But when you see these men well dressed in their jacket suit and speak and spew the Queen's standard English and act very classy and bourgeoisie, you would never dare to think that these gentle crooks are criminal. But those people are the real thugs of society. A 72-year-old. A 72-year-old. You realize that some people will never grow up. You realize some people will never grow up. Imagine the sons and grandsons of the 72-year-old, the advice they've been given over the years. I wonder how his children turn out. But then again, them picnic can't have foreign university, you know. I saw it go in a them world. Them criminals, where them are politicians and the high echelons of society rub shoulder together. Them picnic university a foreign and them sinting there as well. So maybe them picnic turn out good. Because daddy was upper class and daddy grew us fine and sent us to university, even though we don't know where daddy got his wealth from, but daddy became a businessman for the washing of money. For the washing of jugs money. I wonder how much would have been washed and spent in this general election by the angel. By the election for Andrew. Carencia Morrison. It look like them an arm twist all on for jumping pan the war against JPS. But let me say this. We don't leave JPS alone. It's clear to see now JPS is a law unto itself in Jamaica. Darrell Vaz checking them, Abe. Andrew Holness checking them, Abe. Oh, you are checking them, Abe. Them not listen to no. From this galang in Aguan, and Unwa walk and talk and checking JPS. Have you ever heard JPS listen to or respond to one another? No, they don't. They don't have to. Because them botched up themselves to use their force majeure against you. So you can't force them to hold them to their contractual duty. Because all they will tell you, an act of God has prevented me from performing my contractual duty. A clause that both of you would have signed up to during the contractual negotiation and agreement. So what it turned out into now, it's a war of words between the JLP and JPS. JLP want to use something that JPS have been doing for decades with the people by just giving them high electricity bill. Well, Darrell Vaz and the rest of the Labour Party has been rambling about at the moment. Nothing don't go so. A long time same thing. It's not like anything new. It's not like it's anything that is happening since burial. No, it's not. I mean, they ought to be more compassionate. JPS ought to be more compassionate. I'm annoyed, though, that it's not the People's National Party which is leading the charge against JPS. It's the same crooked government where should have straightened out JPS from early on. Now they're humming and singing behind JPS and is only just making noise to make you, the public, think that they mean something and them do something. Current Morrison, when nobody not hear Current Morrison talk on anything in our politics, will you come out and talk about the JPS something for lady? Why you come out and talk about JPS? Brenda, Errol Brown, Ransford McLean, how no do? Why Currency Morrison? Well, we don't hear Currency Morrison voice on anything much happen in the country. Why the whole I gang up on JPS? Uno things uno can use uno mouth for fool with us so no care about the people of Jamaica. That's what I'm doing. I have to explain to us that we know that that's what I'm doing. It's not about we. It's not about we. It's about the sympathy trip. Uno can play with things that uno take on JPS on our behalf. Oh, please, my dear. Oh, please. Don't start. It won't happen. We're fool. We're half fool. We're not kind of full fools. You know, there's certain things, Miss Morrison, that you'll get away with when you're dealing with full fool. But half fools tend to recognize things not as quick as others, but something we joke with halfway through the same thing. I make we say, please, Miss Morrison, leave it alone. Leave it alone and go on back to keep in a silent. We barely remember say you're dead. We barely hear nothing from you. So as to why the whole are not come out again up against JPS, for play upon we emotion, don't do it, it not go work. We know no don't care. We know no not do it for we know not do it for vote, because on a sister, the country is riled up and people emotion is boiling, and that on a tap into. Why you think dirty face fly green? Wait till party people get angry before him go around them with ice. Before he went around there with ice. Fly Green live along the same coastline like Hawaii, as Fly Green says. And it takes 7 weeks for Fly Green to turn up with ice. And we still don't have electricity. So look here. Yesterday, vote twirling. We're on a Jamaica Labour Party around the country pan. Not even to on a tribal labor sector, it's not working with. Because half the people them were demonstrate on Black Road are on a labor voters them. They're annoyed about how Andrew has thrown them out in the cold and left them there, and have not recognized the support that they gave to him and the party. From burial come, when I use emotion against we, we show we so a good politician. But yet still, when you walk and thief off all of the money, sure W, how you do? When you walk and thief off all of the money and hold on to all of the money, will come to help the people them. But I don't want to run up and down and play war of words with JPS. JPS can't do nothing about, just like when you go in a parliament in a night and go change the law with 151 size feet parlor, we can turn DPP indefinitely. Why we can't go in a parliament overnight to change the law upon JPS? Because it's not about the people. It's not about the people. I bet you if I did something with him, I could get big profit when I change the law upon JPS tomorrow morning. If I something with a butter a phone amount, when I change the law upon JPS tomorrow. But serve Jamaica people right. We vote for no, and then them continuously turn them back on you. We don't leave JPS alone. Make JPS be as careless and useless as they want to be. I wanna have the law, so. I wanna have the law, so. I'm gonna show you one careless fight where them are bring to JPS. I call this a deadbeat one, yeah. This a deadbeat favor, but we'll keep our eye on it. There's a brewing with the Jamaica Teachers Association presidents and the legal case over the 3-month pay, a 3-year pay increase that was accepted where one side think it shouldn't have been, and there's a pending legal challenge. So let's see how that goes down. It is rambling throughout the conference, but we keep an eye on it and see how it rambles out. But teachers, the government has been urged to pay teachers more and to improve their working condition in order for teachers to stay in the system, which is the other unfolding debacle coming in our country. That is what we'll keep a close eye on, particularly from September to December, to see how that first phase of the international teachers pan out on the island. Everybody in the war against JPS, And I want somebody to give a little leeway, and a Dr. Campbell. Dr. Campbell has always been a strong voice in anything worth it talk about. You have to give him dues. But everybody use Beryl against me. Flag Green. Yesterday or a couple of days, Flag Green is asking the government and private sector hey, more help for St. Elizabeth. How dull is that? How dull and backwards is that? When that should have been, when I fly down there in a helicopter and I do an assessment, when an assessment should I tell you from the first week, the first 72 hours of burial, that St. Elizabeth, Clarendon, Manchester, places which are hardly hit, particular St. Elizabeth on the southern coastline, need extra logistic and manpower support. I mean, any dunce, any Jamal school student couldn't tell you that. This is an attorney running the Ministry of Agriculture, is the MP for Southwest St. Elizabeth. You don't think these people are people who can think, but God help what is between those 2 years. God help what is between those 2 years. And for those of you who don't know, that is Dr. Tufton's friend, Dr. Carl Anthony Blythe, The doctor a Yui, where we can thump up other doctor, bust up other doctor mouth, a drape up and box up other doctor. Yes, the bully doctor will make everybody know who Carl Anthony Bruce is, the top neurosurgeon at University Hospital, the chief of medical staff, will make everybody know who you be. The violent doctor, the doctor will walk and bust up another doctor mouth when you talk to him. The doctor will not take telling. The doctor, Manchester High student, Christopher Tufton and Carl Bruce, the very close friend of Christopher Tufton, Carl Bruce, were walking and abuse him colleague them in the healthcare, but because him and Christopher are friend, nothing can be done. Why nothing the doctor can the lawsuit against the hospital? Because the hospital plan was to reimburse her and discipline him. And because of Tufton, nobody can discipline the arrogant bully, Carl Bruce. We're going to call you out every day. So when patients see you, they run and scream and hold on them face. Because Carl Bruce, I going to either thump them or box them. Yes. We're going to make everybody know about your hand, Carl Bruce. We're going to make everybody know about your hand, how violent you are. Violent. That are the wicked fly green in a parrot with ice. Ice. After 7 weeks, my MP turn up. After 7 weeks, JPS has not turned up into my community to start restore the system. And Floyd Green, after 7 weeks, bear in mind that electricity off of Floyd Green yard, which is about 2-3 miles from Philly, turn up with ice. Ice, Floyd Green. Ice. Yes, that Floyd Green turn up with ice. Ice. You just couldn't believe what Floyd Green has done. Let me tell you, sir. Go find something, do. Your child in a labor, in a Chilani, it never worked. You were placed in a good position to contest the seat for the People's National Party. None of we never tell you Dennis Meadows to go drink and junk before you go political campaign galangin. Nobody never tell you Dennis Meadows to go take $500,000 check from scammer and come back, come tell we with your junking self. So please, find something else to do. For now, because never say never. For now, Meadows, your political career to get into the House of Representatives is over. Move on, Dennis Meadows. Move on. Move on, Dennis Meadows. Why are you so determined to get into the House of Representatives? And we're in the wedding last, where Dennis Meadows alone can go search and find. Move on, Dennis Meadows. You never make it under JLP. You messed it up on the PNP. Move on, Dennis Meadows. There's other thing there to do. It is said, Mr. Meadows, you were quite corrupt at the Firearm Licensing Authority. Move on, Dennis Meadows. Go and find work to do. Go and build an organization to rehabilitate gangs like Babsy and Horace Chan, Darrell Vaz and Bobby Montague, James Robertson. Move on, Mr. Meadows. Move on. There's work out there to do. Your gangsters are there to rehabilitate, Mr. Meadows. Move on. You have failed at one chance. You have messed up the other, Mr. Meadows. Move on. If you can't find something to do, get a push broom and go and find a bucket and clean the pig pen like Everett Warmington, Mr. Meadows. But move on. All right? Move on, Mr. Meadows. Enough of it. Enough of it, Mr. Meadows. Move on. Move on. You've had your days of being a corrupt public official, Mr. Meadows. You have had your fair share of being a corrupt public official. Move on, Mr. Meadows. Find something else to do. Try to rehabilitate Babsy, Chang, Andrew, James Robertson, Bobby Montague, Darrell Vance. You know, that fleet of criminal. You know, try to rehabilitate them. Move on, Mr. Meadows. Good God Almighty. Move on, sir. Move on, Mr. Meadows. Too much of it. Too much of it, Mr. Meadows. But we're still giving highlight to the plight of this family in Clarendon, who JPS has no doubt committed a grave crime against the family by leaving unsafe power line with live wire, which fell a month after burial and has electrocuted and later killed a resident of, was it Race Course in Clarendon? I think it's Race Course. JPS, the government, and nobody is acting as if they are a part of Jamaica. They have been seriously affected by the negligence of JPS. But then, I tell you, JPS a bad boy. JPS show we say, them a law unto themselves in a Jamaica. Neither the government that they have the contract with, nor the OUR who regulates them. The Minister of Energy. Who,
I tell us I have to stand up for my father.
This, as his father, the breadwinner of the family, lays on a hospital bed in excruciating pain. The man, a popular barber, lost a hand and a foot, his livelihood now in jeopardy as he may not be able to cut hair again.
Two kidneys shut off on him right now, so in a very critical condition.
His younger children, who are preparing for back to school, now in limbo, the possibility of them being ready for September fading day by day. According to reports, utility poles belonging to the Jamaica Public Service JPS fell on him while he was traveling by a motorcycle along the main road in Racecourse, Clarendon on August 3rd. The man was electrocuted and sustained severe burns to his arms. His son says the family has been in a state of distress ever since.
We alone, I got through it. Just we alone. We are going through a hard time, we are going through a rough time, and there's no one, no councillor, no NP, no nobody.
Residents told the TVJ News that the man was not able to react after the incident. Now, as the son hopes his father makes a speedy recovery, he cannot help but focus on what he described as a lack of remorse from the JPS.
I mean, need JPS to come forth and stop behave as if like say, yo, nothing wrong. You understand? Like it's nothing wrong. Nothing for no one. Need to come forth and make a combine and do things the right way.
The emotionally wounded son says the situation is made much worse as there has been no communication whatsoever from political representatives.
And him did a fighting for his life. You understand? And nobody then, you understand, the councillor, you need to stand up for your resident them. You understand? The MP if stand up for your resident then. If it was a shooting incident, you would have find out say they would have moved to it drastic already. You understand? Probably crucial thing would have come out of the situation already if it was a shooting incident. So they need to stand up for your resident more. Because right now my father in there and then nobody no come find out our situation be like we don't have no NP.
When contacted, JPS described the incident as most unfortunate. It said the poles came down during adverse weather conditions on August 2nd. The JPS said the primary concern is the well-being of those affected and warned the public to exercise extreme caution when approaching downed power lines and poles. Ramarda Lyons, TVJ News.
JPS, we should be careful. Sharon Peart, not only a big lawsuit in well around the country, JPS right now would be under investigation for serious breach of health and safety. The regulations of health and safety in Britain are criminal offense. They are not civil offenses, they're criminal offenses. JPS ought to be investigated and prosecuted for corporate manslaughter. This is serious foreseeable, which is the test. Foreseeable danger. JPS as the expert foreseeable danger. The people of Jamaica were placed in danger that was foreseeable. JPS, as the expert, could have seen that this could have posed such risk or such danger. JPS ought to be prosecuted for corporate manslaughter. Is what is really happening. Besides, there are a lot of health and safety violations across the country in the wake of Hurricane Beryl, in the way JPS has conducted itself. The unstoppable one, how you do, Errol Brown, has conducted itself given what's going on across the country. All no party people don't get no light.
Me can't get light. What me I go do? Me can't get water. Me want water to wash me sonny. Me want water to wash me arms. Me want water to wash me head. Me want water to brush me teeth. Yeah.
This is the Jamaica Labour Party death squad going around the country in the wake of the Terry massacre, leaving in their trap a trail of dead young men and they go across.
August 6, 2024, members of the Firearm and Narcotics Investigation Division within CTOC executed a raid at 2 Riverside Drive, Havendale, Kingston 19, which resulted in the seizure of a large quantity of cocaine and the arrest of 5 male Jamaican nationals. The persons arrested are all from Kingston addresses. Those arrested are 57-year-old Clive Roy Davis, 58-year-old Colin Ricketts, 51-year-old George Sterling, 42-year-old Clayton Peart, and 72-year-old Juna Aldane. During the operation, a Toyota IAS vehicle and a 2-story concrete dwelling were searched, where the police discovered several knitted bags containing packages with a white powdery substance suspected to be cocaine. The substance weighed 2,526 kilograms, or just over 5,569 pounds, and has an estimated street value of just over 75 million US dollars. The accused, who have been interviewed in the presence of their lawyers, remain in police custody after they were charged on Friday, August 16, 2024, for possession of cocaine, dealing in cocaine, trafficking in cocaine, and conspiracy. The court dates are still being finalized. This seizure represents the largest on record in Jamaica's history.
It would be remiss of me if I were not to say that we as an
Lead one to ask a question, Errol. Are there other nationals involved who have not yet been arrested and questioned? Because that sparked me to, the emphasis on Jamaican national. Are there ongoing investigation in bringing others involved in this drugs bust to books, Mr. Fix? Is there a correlation, Mr. Fix, between Dean Shaw, who it is said owns the Havendale property, who went there days before the raid but did not enter the house? But the tip-off was rather done by surrounding neighbors. The drug lords, though, are of the view that Dean Shaw tipped off the police, which led to the raid and the seizure. This may have caused the sudden cut down of Dean Shaw by those who may have been connected, or those who may have political affiliation to the drugs kimping. As it is said, they are big donors of the Jamaica Labour Party, Roy Davis and Mr. Sterling. The others certainly will be identified in due course. We will find the picture of them. Because if I did, people found down at Tivoli, we would have choose and refuse what pictures you all would put out there for them. Thank you all very much for being here tonight on Global Television. And if you don't see Andrew Road, ask him so no here said the Havendale drug lords are big time donor of the Jamaica Labour Party. Tell him say like how him can walk and track people and what we did and what we have said. We're waiting to hear more from the Prime Minister. Thank you all very much, and good night from Global TV.
This is a matter that I will speak to. So this is still a part of the Secretary General's report.
Law Clan, good
Secondly,
night, good night.
we did retain counsel, and on the basis that this is a matter that has been referred to and asked